Hello and welcome to my top picks of 1987. We're moving on up and we're up to about 6 games per year now, so we're slowly getting there. Anyways, number 6 here is The Legend of Zelda. I guess it's not actually called The Legend of Zelda, is it? It's called Zelda II: The Adventure of Link. So it's the second Zelda game in the franchise, and they changed up a little bit, so it's like a side-scroller view now. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't play this for the longest time. I've not beaten this one. It's not as good as the original. I think that's the consensus of basically everyone in like the Zelda fandom. It's no surprise. This one's adding a bit more of like a kind of RPG feel. I think you can like level up your health and magic and stuff like that, and yeah, go to towns and stuff like that and chat to the locals about like oh, you need like this bridged like raft to get across the water or something like that. Yeah, I played a little bit of it on my channel. It wasn't exactly like the best Zelda ever. It was okay, but it's one of those ones that like I'm not gonna finish for my channel. I'm gonna like put my focus into like all the others, like Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, and all the others after that. So it's by no means a bad game. It's just in comparison to the original Legend of Zelda, it falls very short. Anyways, let's move on to our next one, our number 5 pick. And our number 5 pick here is another sequel. It is Castlevania II: Simon's Quest. Now, this is kind of similar story to the last game I talked about, the Zelda 2. It's a sequel that is just not as good as the original. I believe in this one, you have to basically, for whatever reason, reincarnate Dracula by getting his body parts and then just burn him to the ground in a really anticlimactic boss battle. But yeah, it's some more Castlevania. I guess it's just like I prefer the whip style combat of like the side-scrolling nature of Castlevania over Zelda. They were pretty much hard to like place, these two, because they're kind of very similar in the kind of bland style in comparison to like their great first entries. And oh yeah, this is a big thing of contention, the whole like night-day cycle. So in Castlevania 2, I believe the enemies are, yeah, they're definitely more tougher. And as you can see, I die quite a lot in this game. Game over there. And yeah, it's just a kind of underwhelming sequel, but it's alright. Anyways, let's continue on. Right, our number 4 pick here is Afterburner. Now, Afterburner is like one of those games that it's an arcade game, and I first saw it in the movie Terminator 2 when like John Connor's at the arcade just playing it. I haven't actually, I've seen the arcade machine, but I haven't actually played it. Like I haven't actually sat in the machine and like actually officially played this yet. But it's a very fast-paced like jet fighter shooter, as you can see, and yeah, it's a bit trippy with all the like barrel rolls and stuff like that. I'm not particularly too great at it. I'm okay, but like I believe it's one of those ones where it was definitely designed for stuff like this, like to die very easily and like just pump in more and more quarters or like pennies or whatever it is in like the UK. I think it's pound coins in the UK. Usually arcade machines are a bit well, not stingy, but like they ask for quite a lot of money, and it's like fast paced, you die quite easily, so you have to keep pumping in the money to like keep it going. But yeah, it's a pretty alright shooter for its time, and I'm really glad that I played it later on in life. Right, let's move along. Okay, so my number 3 pick here for 1987 is a bit of a strange one. It is the original arcade Shinobi game. Now, the Shinobi games, I believe this is the first one, yeah, because like there's a Shinobi 3 on the Sega, but you can never play like the original Shinobi on like the Sega at all. So this one is chronologically the first game in that series of Shinobi games. And as you can see here, the classic grenade launcher that obviously the ninjas have. The idea is you just have to beat this evil organization called Zed, and yeah, it's like an adventure game before. So this was in the arcades before like fighting games really like took off. I believe like the original Street Fighter was out by this time, but it was really like Street Fighter 2 that made like the actual fighter games like a big thing. So this is just kind of like a little bit of an action adventure title. It's kind of strange to see an arcade game like this. I guess that's why I kind of enjoy it, but it's also kind of up here because I do enjoy the sequel to this a hell of a lot. Anyways, let's move along. Right, so my number 2 spot here goes to the original Metal Gear. Now, this was made for the MSX2 computer. I don't know much about the history of the MSX2, like whether it was ported to Europe and the US and stuff like that. I know like this Metal Gear game was like changed up for like a NES version, but like I've never played this. Well, that one, but I played this one, and with this one, yeah, it's like the origins of that Kojima stealth action gameplay, and it's like completely unique, completely different from the time. I think the story goes that Kojima, he was a programmer and like he wanted to be a designer, so he just designed a few games, and then this one, I believe he mentioned it. He mentioned the whole premise of like it's going to be a game about stealth, and I think he was almost fired on the spot for even suggesting that, because at the time, like shooter games, arcade shooters and stuff like that were like really big and popular. So to like go against like the flow of what everyone else is doing and like to make it solely focus on the stealth element was like a crazy idea. But with this one, it is obviously a bit more bare bones than like the later games in like the Metal Gear franchise, because it is the first one, and it is like a really great like first entry though. This is one of the old classic Metal Gears that I've actually played to completion, and a little bit of like a sad note on like my gameplay style. I actually got tricked by Big Boss right at the end of the game, who said, "Don't go this way, go back to the beginning," and I'm like, but I can't progress. What am I supposed to do? So like Big Boss actually tricked me in this one, which is kind of sad because like I already know that he's the baddie, but I don't know why I listened to him on that codec call. Anyhow, it's a great first entry to the Metal Gear Solid, or the Metal Gear franchise, I'd say, and yeah, it is definitely worthy of like the number 2 slot here. But let's move on to number 1. And the number 1 spot goes to Contra, the original Contra for the NES. I believe it was out in the arcades as well, but I think a lot of people just know it from like the Nintendo Entertainment System. This isn't my first one that I played. The first one I played was on Sega. I think I've already mentioned this. Like I missed out on like Nintendo consoles for the longest time. I played them at friends' houses and stuff like that, but like I never actually owned one. I couldn't afford everything, and as a kid you can't like literally afford anything. You don't have any money. You might have a bit of pocket money here and there, but like not enough to get like every single games machine that you ever wanted. But yeah, like so I came to this one a bit late. I don't think I ever bought it officially, so this might not be official. But it's like a really great run and gun. It reminds me of like the sequels that I played on like the Sega. I played a version called Probotector, which in the US is called what is it called in the US? It's called Contra Hard Corps or something like that. I think it's something like that. But yeah, this is the first original one, and it's basically a guy with a gun has to shoot things. And is there a better story ever told in time? I don't think there is. It's heavily inspired by like I think I get like a lot of Predator vibes. This game came out the same year as Predator, but actually no, there's like A lot of the imagery later on in the games is very reminiscent of like H.R. Giger's Alien and stuff like that, especially like Aliens. But yeah, at this point it's just like man with gun shoots guys with guns, and it's that classic run and gun shooter that I kind of really do enjoy, I have to admit, even though it's basically very simple. But yeah, there we go. That's my top picks for 1987. I hope you enjoyed this little insight into like the games that I enjoyed playing throughout the years. And if you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe. I'll have more of these to come. Right, until next one. Bye.